Hi there, it's Derek here from Pacific Coast Auto in Japan. We're looking here at a Volkswagen Passat 4Motion W8. That's a four-wheel drive sedan Passat with an 8-cylinder engine in it. 275 horsepower or so, about that. Condition of the car overall is very good. It's been professionally cleaned inside and outside by what looks like the previous owner. I think it was owned by a dealership here in Japan. They prepped it for sale, and so this is basically ready to sell as soon as it lands. And I will say that most of the people who are buying from us are buying for the purpose of resale, but we sell to both dealers and individuals. But that's enough self-promotion. Let's take a look at the condition of the car. We got the car's auction inspection sheet here. It's a 2003 with 96,000 kilometers on it. Well above average condition for this, I must say. And this one's going over to Germany after we're done taking a look at it here. The engine looks good. The oil is good. The coolant is good. Probably a good idea to get those things changed when it lands, because just visually they look okay. We don't know how long they've actually been in there. And then the W8 engine, it is, I guess let me explain this. An 8-cylinder engine. Now, if you know what a VR6 engine is, it's 6 cylinders, but instead of being in a typical V, the cylinders are like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so W8 is the same thing. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and the same thing over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get a traditional V, and then in each cylinder bank you get a tight 15-degree staggered piston setup. It's the test mule engine for what later on became the Bugatti engine, the 16-cylinder version I believe that they have in that, and the Bentley engine. They have a W12 in it. They also decided for whatever reason to put the W12 into a Touareg as well, which is fantastic. W12, 450 horsepower in a Touareg is amazing and one of the best sounding engines I've ever heard. Now, people say that the engine in this, and it is a pretty rare one, 11,000 units made, it doesn't put out a ton of extra power, but you get the torque down really low at 2,800 RPM, and has a smooth, refined, and unique feel to it, is what people said. Now, there are people who are going to be like, ooh, W12, it's scary. Well, I've seen a lot of these with high mileage in Japan, and if people in Japan put high mileage on them, they're probably not that unreliable. Other people will know better, but I do want to make sure that people don't just listen to what is said on the internet. Switch that off for now. And then copy it without actually knowing. See, what I think happens is people hear, oh, this person had troubles with it, and then they just repeat it, and then it becomes internet lore. And I feel like that's what happens with this, because it is an odd type of engine, and I feel like that happens with just a lot of different cars. Let's go take a look at the auction inspection sheet here. This gives you all the details about the condition of the car. It's a 2003 Passat 4-wheel drive W8 4Motion. The 4-wheel drive is the, what's the name of that? Halidex 4-wheel drive system. And so it is Volvo's 4-wheel drive system that is licensed to Volkswagen. Not as much Audi, but some of their cars have it, like the A3, and it's front-wheel drive until it notices some slip, and then it goes into a locked 50-50 split front and rear at that point. I don't know how practical the 4-wheel drive system is, because the car has traction control, and as soon as you notice slip, the traction control cuts your throttle. You can turn off the ESP, but most people won't do that every time, and you can't have the ESP default to the off position. This is the same complaint I had with the same system in my R32 Golf, which was fantastic if you turn the ESP off, but I never did. I just got in the car and then drove it, and then when I went to go drive quickly off of the line, the traction control kicked in, so you don't get any 4-wheel drive. So, a little bit weird. Also, you got to make sure you change the fluid of your Halidex system. Anyway, this is an auction grade 4, interior C, exterior B. I'd say this is more like a B, and maybe a B plus for the exterior. It looks like it's been professionally polished. The paint is excellent on it. Okay, 166 kilometers. This is a price that is going to be pretty cheap in Japan, because that for a Euro car in Japan is considered fairly high, whereas outside of Japan that's still considered fairly low on a car that is now coming in on 20 years old. It has a spare key as the only sales point, and then the report or the notes here says spare key will be sent to the buyer. Wood steering wheel, like a full wood steering wheel. It's gorgeous. And then the report here, headliner comes down. It's very, very slight. This is a big problem on Euro cars in Japan from time to time. This one's not that so bad, so I wouldn't worry about it. It says engine oil leak, but I couldn't find a leak. Usually it's on the valve cover gaskets or is on the pan gasket. You can't see the pan gasket on this one from below while the car is on the ground, so I couldn't take a look at that, but from the top it's not noticeable and it doesn't drip down. Keep in mind, an oil leak can prevent a car from shipping if it is dripping down. But we could get that fixed in Japan if you needed it to be. Door mirrors scratched, various exterior scratches and dents, windshield rock chip, interior dirty, floor carpet dirty, seat wear, and trim dirty, scratched. Comes up and comes off. Now, I'll tell you exactly what this means. Every door has this problem where the leather, and it's real leather on the doors, is baggy. Look. And all the doors have that. Now, I don't know what can be done to solve this. I guess you can peel the leather off and re-glue it. There is that. Something not mentioned on the auction inspection sheet, I think the only thing is the interior has some cracked wood on 2 of the door handles. This one here, and again, authentic wood. It looks gorgeous, but those cracks do set it off a little bit. Okay, and aftermarket floor mats, but it's weird. They are aftermarket molded floor mats specifically for the Passat, but it doesn't really work. Take a look. They have these holes that line up exactly to the holes for the stock floor mats, but they don't click into place like they're supposed to. So they come off of their little mounts very easily. Not my favorite. They do look good, but not my favorite. Okay, we'll come back to the interior in a second. For now, let's do it once around. Now, I really like Volkswagens and Audis. I could totally see myself driving something like this. I would get the station wagon version, and yes, the W8 was available in the station wagon. But as I've been mentioning a lot recently, a 3-box sedan style like this has kind of gone out of favor. A lot of people are going after crossovers and SUVs nowadays, and it's getting to the point where a sedan is starting to look a little bit smart. We might see a sedan come back, or maybe not, but I'd like to see it. That's part of the reason why I like wagons so much, is they're outside of the norm and what people typically buy, and so it does look special when you see them on the road. The JDM jungle, it's getting too extreme to walk through, and there are huge spiders in Japan, so I'm going to choose to go this way, even if you can't see the whole car in frame. I was joking to my wife today that it's time to move out of this place because the growth has overgrown the usefulness. We are now up here. I don't know if you can notice it, but all those trees are bigger now than they were, 6 years ago when we first started in this lot. It means less light that you get for the car. So the videos now compared to 5 years ago are slightly darker on that side, and it kind of annoys me. Anyway, you can easily tell that the body is clean, sparkly, shiny, and beautiful. Now we do have a replaced fender, the one on the other side, and a W2. Let's just have a quick look at that. Apparently this fender has been replaced, and this door has been repainted. So have a quick look at that. I'm personally looking at it. You can see some wave. I would consider it an 8 out of 10 paint job, which by Japanese standards should be an 11 out of 10. Paint here can be pretty bad. It's noticeable, but it's very, very subtle, and you can't see it without feeling it. So in terms of that fender having been replaced, I personally wouldn't worry about that. Now, headlights are cloudy. I would personally change that. Love the W8 badge on it. I'm not sure if you get a more aggressive front end. You might. It has fog lights integrated into the bumper. Okay. There isn't a single area of damage anywhere on the car to point out. Oh, I remembered one. There is one. Down here, there's a little crack on the bumper. Right there. And then W8 4Motion. I am totally into the weird engine sizes. I really want one of those Torags. After I saw one drive by, my gosh, one of the best sounding engines ever. And sadly, I bet this sounds really awesome, but with this stock exhaust, it's quite quiet. There's a lot of sound deadening material. This is the Passat before they went down market. So the Passat used to be higher in market position than it is now. And so this would have been kind of the end of that, actually. Okay, so good looking. The underside looks good. Those headlights need to be changed. We'll go take a look at the interior. I really like the look of the interior. personally, I want more sportiness in the interior, and Audi Sport seats are awesome. I like the look of them. I prefer more bolstering and more hugging. So let's have a look. Soft leather seats, and the leather is noticeably softer in this than it is in most other cars, especially BMW. I talked to some people who work at BMW and was complaining about the seats, and he gave his co-worker a look like, yeah, we know that's a problem, but we didn't realize people noticed it that much. Okay, gauges are blue backlit. They look similar to Golf gauges. Okay, interior is 2000s German, I guess is how you would say. The wood is a nice touch. Wood can crack, so beware. Okay, the shifter is good. I mentioned in the other video that these tend to get loose on the Passat. I'm not sure why. This one is a little bit side to side, but it's not bad. I've seen them really move around a lot. No bad smells on the interior. And it looks like all the carpets have been extracted. The seats are good. There is minor cracking in them and minor marks from them having been restored. So when you remove the cracks, you kind of get this type of look on the seats. On this one you can see it, on the other ones you can't really. It's kind of like a bit of a muddy look. It's only very slight, and it's only like it's limited to right there. This seat doesn't have any. That all looks fine. And some minor cracking or like discoloration where it wrinkles, and you can dye that back into shape and gloss it back up. Same thing on the outside bolster there. Okay. And then the wooden steering wheel, yes, all the way around wood. That's a real wood and no cracks in it, which is good. The laminate on this one can crack and peel off. I've seen that a few times. Okay, let's head to the back seat. You get heated seats, 4 seats, heated seats. And yes, all of them are like this, all the door cards. A set of carpets like this is probably like $600, the custom-made ones per car. Kind of weird. Like I said, I like the looks, but I'd prefer the original ones. Okay. And sitting in here, this seat is in the full back position. You have a suitable amount of leg room. You have peelings, you can see it there. This is sticky. And, ooh, a cigarette lighter adapter. And yeah, heated seats in the rear seats too, that's cool. This is broken, it's supposed to click into place, but it freely slides. The armrest, here's a look at the front position. Okay, and I didn't try the audio. I didn't try the audio, but I bet it sounds good. It doesn't have any high-end audio like Mark Levinson or Bose or something like that that you'll see on a lot of cars nowadays, but it probably still sounds good. Okay, trunk liner is slightly pilled. Okay, but lots of space in there. It goes way back, and a pass-through for skis if you don't want to have the wagon. Pull this up, and we have a space saver spare tire. No signs of accident damage in the back here. Okay, pull this down, and yeah, overall, good quality luxury sedan. Not, I guess, kind of Audi quality. You could consider this similar to an S6 or so, which is the other video that we're putting up this week. Hence why it's on my mind. Smaller than an Audi 6 series, bigger than an Audi 4 series. Okay, so there you have it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day.